Okay, so hi everyone. In this video, it will be a bit of a break before going on the data parallel video. This one is a video about how do I debug distributed code base, because I've seen some comments on Twitter and YouTube on how do I proceed to debug a code base or explore a new code base, and I will show you some of my tricks. On how I explore a code base in general, which helped me a lot when I was working with Megatron and even in everyday life. It's not particularly tied to distributed code base, but it can be applied to a normal code base as well. But it works. So usually what I do is pretty much like everyone is to do print debugging. It works very well. But in some cases, you want to retain the state of your variables and stuff, and you want to, because you have a limited context length in your head, and you cannot keep track of everything. So it's good to have something frozen. So people usually go with PDB, but I dislike PDB because I feel like this is a relic of the time, and you have awesome tools nowadays that needs to be used. And especially I think of the Vscode UI debugger. But you will see that I use it a bit differently than usual. So first you have to activate, you have to download something called install debug run, which is basically a way to launch the Python debugger, but through the CLI. And you will see why I do it this way. Because usually when you want to use the debugger, so on VS Code, you have to install the Python debugger, which is here, and then you have to create a launch.json file. You can create it, and once you create this launch.json file, you have to fill it, and every time you want to change something in the launch, like an argument, you have to edit this file. I hate it. I prefer to change in command line, and then just run my debugger. So it's just like personal preference. So once I've installed the debug, what I have to do is first create a launch.json. I will call it Python debugger, but instead of creating a Python file, I'm doing a remote attach. And then press enter, and we will see what is written here. So basically what I'm doing is through the debug run, I can launch a command. For example, I'm at TensorFlow. I want to launch. So the way I launch a code is the TensorFlow code base. It's like this: torch run. You specify the number of node, GPUs per node, and you have all the argument of the script. And when you want to use debug with this, you have to do it this way. So you have to run it this way. So basically, instead of running torch run, I can zoom a bit. Torch run, you call debug run, and then you have to use torch run, but in this case it won't work, so you have to specify torch distributed run. This is another way. And once you have done that, you have to put these two extra dash to separate from the debug argument and your code base argument. And here you can even specify a port. So here we put it 5678, just random port. And you see in the launch.json, you have to specify as well the port. That has to be the same. So for example, if I run this code, you will see that there's like a traceback. I don't know why there's a traceback, but in the previous version there was no traceback, and at some point I started to have the traceback, but everything is working. Don't worry. You see that the code is somehow waiting. It's running my command, and it's listening to a port 5678. And what we are going to do is doing remote attach. So once I've created the launch.json, I have to make sure that the remote root is as well not a dot, but a workspace folder, like so that you can see where you are. And you see that the port is 5678, the same as the command launched. And I will just change here the name, I don't know, debugger. Just like this way, it's easier to see here in the list, because at some point we'll see later that we have like several configs, and so it's good to know which one you are at. So once you have like this code listening, your code listening to a port, and you have set up the launch.json, you can just go to your code base and put a breakpoint, I don't know, and then just trigger the debugger. So you can run enter, click on start debugging, or as a shortcut, if you are in the code, I usually do command shift command D, which just like directly switch to the debugger tab and directly to the start debugging buttons, and then I can just run enter. And so when I'm doing that, you will see that it started to run, and you see I have 4 GPUs, so I have like now 4 sub-process, which is like mapping correctly, 1 GPU, 1 sub-process, and it will soon be reaching the breakpoint I've put. Okay, good. So you see that at every so it's way better than PDB. You have like you can switch between the processes. If I want to print, I don't know, the global rank, this one is the rank 1, this one is the rank 0, this one is the rank 2, and this one is the rank, I don't know, maybe 3, makes sense. And what is good is you can easily switch between the process and go individually. For example, here you see that this one was the number 3. You see that where each rank are at which position they are, so which is cool. I recommend not running debugging in like with 4 ranks because there's like a lot of things going on. Usually what I do is like reproducing, I have a bug, I reproduce the bug with the minimal amount of variable or degree of freedom. I usually tend to reproduce to 2 GPUs with a small data set, a small training step, and so on and so on. And from that, I trigger the debugger, which is very helpful. In some cases, you have to, the minimal amount of GPUs you have to use is 4. It happens to me right now because I'm working on the improved version of Pipeline Parallel, which is the interleave version. And my smallest working example have to use like 4 GPUs. But it's okay, that's life. And yeah, and you see that you can pretty much do everything, and it helps a lot. And when you want to kill the code base, I mean the debugger session, you just like press Control C or something. But sometimes you have to be careful because it's not canceling everything, and you have like one sub-process that becomes a zombie. And this is an issue because if you trigger again the debugger, it will say something like, this port is already used, blah, blah, blah. And so one thing I do is to run the process. So basically, when you do debug py, more precisely adapter, somehow there's like this process running, and this is the one that is responsible of this whole code base we have in front of us. And so what I do is just a kill command where I'm finding the PID of this specific process, then I kill it. This way I don't have any issues with with zombies process. All right, good. And now sometimes you want to run your code base and you are too quick and you press directly the debugger and you see this message. It's just like, it just means that your code didn't have the time to listen to the process, so you just have to wait a bit when you launch the debug pipeline, the command in the CLI, wait like, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds, and then you can run the debugger and it works again. That's it. Okay, then the last thing that is cool with the CLI setups is in some cases, here we are dealing with 1 node and 4 GPUs, but sometimes your code works in 1 node but doesn't work in 2 nodes. So maybe you want to replicate this setup. And this is cool because, for example, here I have like 2 Vscode open, and I can, for example, emulate these 2 node settings with the debug py. So let's consider that this one is the node 0. I will, for example, blah blah blah, find the command back. Is this one? Yeah, okay. So I'm just running again the debug py run command, the same things, except that this time I specify a second port. So I will just go here and basically I will just copy paste this command, call it 1234, sorry. Then you see that here we have like two config. I just switch to 1234. And I specify a port. I have to specify the number of nodes and specify that which one, this one is either the node rank 0 or 1, and then I use 2 GPUs. So here we're debugging 2 nodes with 2 GPUs each. I run the command. You see that it's running. I'm just waiting for the other code base to run. I'll do the same thing here. Yes, the command is already here. So same thing, debug py, except this time I use a different port because they cannot listen to the same port. Two nodes. This one is the node rank 1. This one is using 2 GPUs, and I can run the command. I'm just using, I chose like another part, like maybe here. That's good. Okay. And same here. I will not use the model. I will just go here, for example. This is the same thing, just that because here it's going inside model and we don't see stuff. Here it's just like doing the settings of attributes. So now that we have like set the debugger, I can just like run the debugger on the node 0, so 1, 2, 3, 4, listening on port 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see that the code is running, but it's waiting, it's not executing, because it's waiting for this window, the node 1, to launch the code as well. So we just trigger the debugger here as well. And you will see that now everything is running. Okay. And you see that this one has 2 GPUs, 2 nodes, or I mean, sorry, 2 GPUs, 2 sub-process, and here as well. And yes, so now you have like 2 Vscode window debugging the same code base, and to verify that we have the same code base, for example, I can go here, I can print the global rank. So this one is a global rank 0. This one is global rank 1. And if I go here, I should expect 2 and 3. So this is local rank, sorry, global rank. Okay, so 2. And if I go to this one, it should be 4, global rank 3. 3, sorry. Yeah, so you have 0, 1 on one node and 2 and 3 on another one node. If you look at the local rank, it should be 0 and 1. So this one is 1 because it's the local rank, 0, and if I go there, I print the local rank instead, 1, and here 0. And you can do pretty much the same thing as before, except you can go down and there's like 2 GPUs. But the annoying thing is that you cannot see, for example, where is the rank, I don't know, 3 from node 1 in the UI of the node 0. But that's okay. That's okay. And that's it. I think we have covered pretty much all the different ways that I'm using to debug a distributed code base. Of course, this kind of thing you can do it through Slurm, same thing. You just submit a job and the job is not triggered as long as you have this, you haven't run the debugger in VS Code, which is good, but I don't think you have to find yourself in a case where you have to debug this way, because you should debug with a minimum working example and you can do it interactively. So submitting through Slurm means that you are using more than 2 GPUs, I guess. Like it's already like an official run in a way. Okay, so that was it, and thank you very much for watching this short video, and see you on the next one.